Mr. Chair.
All right, I think Eric has joined us. All right, this is Chairman Nate Clark. We're going to call together the November 5th, 2020 Board of Zoning Appeals. At this time, I'm going to ask staff to go over our new guidelines for public meetings during this quarantine.
Kyle Kobe with Planning. I'll be facilitating the Zoom video portion of the meeting. We will actually begin our the new meeting format with our next agenda, since this agenda was posted prior to the City Commission adopting the new procedures. We will be proceeding as we have been recently. Joining remotely is Catherine Weeks, Staff Liaison. We will work along.
Kyle, we can't hear you. There's no sound.
This is Chairman Nate Clark. I can hear you, Kyle.
I can hear it fine.
Oh. Joining remotely is Catherine Weeks, Staff Liaison. We will work alongside the chair, who's on remote video, to facilitate the meeting proceedings. Can everybody still hear me? Currently, I have everyone muted so we can talk through the general ground rules for tonight's meeting. The meeting is being recorded and broadcast live on the city's YouTube channel and public access cable channel 25. During the meeting, please mute yourself by clicking on the microphone icon found in the lower left-hand corner of the Zoom menu next to the video icon. When you are muted, a red line will appear over the icon. This will make it easier for everyone to hear the meeting. Just remember to unmute if and when you want to speak. In the menu, you can also turn your camera on or off by clicking on the video icon. Video icon located next to the microphone icon. For the purposes of this public meeting, please keep your video on for the duration. If you are participating by phone, you can enter *6 to mute and unmute your phone. Somewhere on your Zoom screen, you will also see a choice to toggle between speaker and gallery view. Speaker view shows the active speaker. Gallery view tiles all of the meeting participants. Be aware that we will not be screen sharing as a part of the meeting this evening. All attachments, reference materials, and submissions from the public are included in the agenda packet. Few reminders to ensure the provisions of the Kansas Open Meetings Act are met. Board members, you must state your name and title each time you speak. Members of city staff must also state their name and title each time they speak. I would also ask that applicants and members of the public identify themselves each time before they speak to ensure that everyone is able to follow along. Individuals who signed up in advance to provide public comments remotely will be called upon by name. When you are called on, please unmute your listening device and state your name before speaking. The chair will then call for in-person public comment for those who are physically present. Staff will direct you to the podium to speak while following social distancing and safety protocols. All motions will need to be stated clearly. After a motion is made and seconded, staff will call on each board member individually to provide their vote. Staff will then announce whether the motion carried and the count of the vote. I want to again remind everyone to please mute yourself when you are not speaking. I'll now turn the meeting back over to the chair.
Thank you, staff. This is Chairman Nate Clark. Moving on to agenda item A this evening, I'm going to ask staff to give a roll call to determine if there's a quorum.
Good evening. This is Catherine Week, Board Staff Liaison. I'm going to go ahead and call roll. Clark.
Present.
Falvey.
Here.
Gardner.
Here.
Harrod.
Here.
Shalinsky.
I'm here.
Weitzner.
Here.
And we have quorum. Thank you.
Thank you very much, staff. This is Chairman Nate Clark again. Moving on to agenda item B, the election of officers for 2021. This time we're going to accept nominations for and elect the chair and vice chair for the coming year, and making as few puns as possible.
You also need to formally elect the secretary. Usually that's the staff liaison, but you can add that to your slate if you want to do it all together. So.
Okay, thank you. This is Chairman Clark. Would anybody on the board like to make any nominations? Who's as acting chair? I'm actually not 100% sure who's our current vice chair.
Wasn't that Travis?
Yeah, I believe that was Travis. I thought he was going to speak up there. He looked like he was going towards the microphone.
I was actually going to my water bottle, but but as I was going to the water bottle, I was thinking, I think I'm the vice chair.
Hey, Travis, would you like to be the chair? Board Member Gardner speaking.
This is Commissioner Harrod. I would not turn it down. That would be an honor.
Then I'd like to nominate Travis to be the new chair.
And this is Eric Weisner. I would like to second that.
Okay, we have a nomination and a second. This is Chairman Clark asking staff if we should then take a vote on the individual position.
If you want to take all of the nominations together and then vote as a slate, you can do that.
Okay, great. So we have a nomination and a second for chair. Is there anybody that would like to embark on the role of vice chair?
This is Barry Shalinsky. I'd like to nominate Ms. Falvey.
Right. We've got a nomination. Do we have a second for that nomination?
Board Member Gardner, second.
Excellent. This is Chairman Clark then asking if anybody would like to nominate a secretary for our board.
This is Commissioner Harrod. I would nominate Staff Liaison Catherine Weeks as the Secretary of the Board of Zoning Appeals.
Chairman Clark.
Eric Weisner, I will second that nomination.
Excellent. This is Chairman Clark. We now have a nomination and a second for the three roles. We have Board Member Harrod for chair. We have Board Member Falvey for vice chair, and Staff Member Catherine Week for secretary. Staff, would you take roll on that at this time?
I will, yes. Staff Liaison Catherine Week. Clark?
Aye.
Falvey?
Aye.
Gardner?
Aye.
Harrod?
Aye.
Shalinsky?
Aye.
Weisner?
Aye.
And the motion carries 6-0.
This Chairman Clark required a lot of self-discipline not to say something like stop the vote halfway through that there. But we will now continue on to agenda item C, communications before the board. Do we have any communications come before us tonight, staff?
We did not have any additional communications other than anything that might have been in your packet.
That's Chairman Clark again asking if anybody needs to disclose any ex parte communications and or abstentions for any specific agenda items this evening. Seeing none, we'll move on to the next one. Are there any agenda items this evening that will be deferred?
No, we did not have any deferrals. We did have a withdrawal, but that was on your agenda as posted. So,
Excellent. All right, then this is Chairman Clark kicking off the public hearing portion of this evening's meeting. We have one public agenda item this evening. It is item number 354 to consider the granting of a variance at 2636 Knollbrook Court. At this time, we would like to hear from staff.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Luke Mortensen, planner with the Planning and Development Services Department. As Chair Clark just noted, item number 1 on tonight's agenda is a request for variance from the required rear setback for an RS7 lot for the property address as 2636 Knollbrook Court. The request is to reduce the required rear setback amount from 30 feet to 22 feet for the reconstruction and expansion of an existing stair and landing. Property and building permitting records indicate the existing detached dwelling at the subject address was constructed in compliance with the required rear yard setback in 2006. The existing stair and landing were constructed in their current location per the setback exemption for necessary stairs and landings as expressed by the Land Development Code. The placement of and deterioration of the existing stair and landing are not actions of the applicant, as the current owner was not the owner at the time of construction. Staff believes the proposed variance from the required rear yard setback will not adversely affect the rights of adjacent property owners or residents. The reconstruction and expansion of the existing stair and landing will not impact the adjacent property owners from continuing to operate their code compliant uses, which in this case are detached dwelling residential uses in all directions. The Land Development Code does not define necessary stair and landing. During the initial planning review of the subject property's building permit, staff consulted the building code and determined that to maintain the necessary stair and landing status, the applicant would need to repair or replace the improvements in their existing location. While the stair and landing meet building code in their current position, staff recognizes the applicant's noted safety concerns based on the location of the existing sliding glass door and the location and direction of the existing staircase. The existing improvements are the only point of ingress and egress for the residents to access the rear yard and patio. Staff believes it may be a hardship to require the applicant to reconstruct the proposed improvements in the exact location of the existing improvements. Staff does not believe the proposed rear setback reduction would adversely affect the public health, safety, morals, order, prosperity, or general welfare. Finally, staff does not believe the proposed variance would be opposed to the general spirit and intent of the code. Granting of the requested variance is consistent with previous findings of the board on similar rear setback variances. For example, it's similar to some of the variances you've seen for elevated decks. Obviously, and I'll just mention, these proposed improvements do not constitute a deck or amenity space. They're going to be used for ingress and egress from the existing residence to the yard. To conclude, based on staff's analysis that the request meets the 5 conditions set by section 20-1309 of the code, staff recommends the board approve the proposed variance request to reduce the required rear setback distance from 30 feet to 22 feet for the construction of a replacement rear staircase and landing at an existing detached dwelling at 2636 Noldbrook Court. The applicant and the property owner are with us this evening, and as always, I can stand for questions.
Chairman Clark, thanking staff for the report. Does anybody have questions for staff at this time? All right, seeing none at this time, we would like to hear from either the applicant or the landowner, whoever would like to speak this evening.
Hi, this is Mike Myers. I'm with Hernley Architects, and I believe Jay Johnson, the homeowner, is also present. Just wanted to thank the board for letting us, for hearing this issue tonight, and also thank staff for their diligence in creating the staff report. I think I hassled just about everybody in the planning office on this one. It seemed like a fairly small ask, and it was just one of those ones that just kind of fell just outside of what was allowable with regard to the building setback. Really, we just want to agree with the staff report and ask that you consider granting the variance as presented tonight. And I don't think I have any other comments. Not sure if the homeowner does.
No, thank you very much for the time and effort that's been put in on this already.
Excellent. Well, this is Chairman Clark thanking the applicant for joining us this evening. At this time, I would like to open the public portion of tonight's meeting. If there's anybody either virtually or present in City Hall that would like to share public comment on this, you're welcome to do so now.
Kyle Covey with Planning. I can confirm there's nobody here at City Hall to speak on this.
Board Member Gardner, motion to close the public hearing.
Board Member Shalinski, second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. This is Chairman Clark asking staff then to take a call on that.
Yes, Staff Liaison Catherine Week. Clark?
Aye.
Dalby?
Aye.
Gardner?
Aye.
Harrod?
Aye.
Linsky?
Aye.
Weisner?
Aye.
And motion carries.
Thank you.
Michael, unfortunately, that was just a decision to close the public comment. Unless you had some adversary, an adversarial person that was going to comment and they didn't make their chance. This is Chairman Clark opening up for the board for discussion there. Anybody has any thoughts?
Board Member Gardner, I like that it's going to improve the safety. I like that it's going to unblock the basement window, which will give them more light in the basement, which is always a pleasant thing to have. And if somebody else wants to make a motion, I'd support it, or I'll make a motion.
This is Board Member Shalinski. I would be really happy to second your motion if you want to make it.
Okay.
I will just say that, as I always do, I drove by the site. It was visible from 27th Street, even though it was a backyard. What was being proposed, it looks eminently reasonable to me. And I also think that Mike has a really good taste in sweatshirts. Go Mustangs.
Thank you.
Well, I'll make a motion that we approve the variance request to reduce the required rear setback from 30 feet to 22 feet for the construction of a replacement rear staircase and landing for the existing detached dwelling located at 2636 Knollbrook Court, based on staff's analysis, which I thought was excellent, and its finding that all 5 conditions set forth in section 201309 G1 of the Land Development Code were found.
Board Member Shalinski, I will second that motion.
All right, this is Chairman Clark. We have a motion and a second. Staff, would you please take a call?
Staff Liaison Catherine Week. Clark?
Aye.
Falvey? Aye. Gardner?
Aye.
Harrod?
Aye.
Shalinski?
Aye.
And Weisner.
Aye.
Motion carries 6-0.
Chairman Clark saying you're welcome, since you already said thank you.
I'll say it again. Thank you.
Hey, one Board Member Gardner, one question, and it's not with the variance, but did we have to approve minutes for previous meetings, or now that they're videotaped, we don't have to do that anymore? Or
We still have to approve them. If they weren't attached, then they weren't ready for approval yet. So when they're attached to the agenda, you'll have them for approval again.
Okay, thank you.
All right, this is Chairman Clark. Moving on to agenda item E, miscellaneous, which for tonight involves approving the 2021 meeting calendar that was provided to us in our packet. And it provides proposed BZA meeting dates for all of next year.
Well, hopefully everybody had a chance to look at this. If there's anything glaring, these are the typical dates that we usually have throughout the year. And I think administrative staff did adjust accordingly if there were any holidays, but I'm not sure there were. So I will let you all discuss, and if you have changes, let me know.
Board Member Gardner, I didn't see any that conflicted with holidays. The closest was the 1st of July, and that's not a conflict.
This is Board Member Harrod. The one that I was looking at, I think the general read my mind. Here, at least in my profession, and I don't know, some people don't have high opinions of attorneys, but things tend to start slowing down right before the 4th of July. It's sort of, you've got, the Christmas holidays and then July 4th sitting 6 months from each other, and it's sort of that time where everybody takes a break. And I'm just wondering, in this year of exhausting circumstances, I wonder if we should move our meeting to July 8th on the backside of July 4th so that people can have their run up to July 4th. That would just be my thought to throw out to the board.
We can check that. We have to coordinate with a lot of other departments to see when those dates are available. So if you want to make that recommendation for the change, and that was voted upon by the group, staff could then confirm after that date does work. And if not, we would have to revisit the calendar at the next meeting.
This is Board Member Weisner. The only comment I would make, I actually looked at this today because I wasn't sure. I work in government, and most government entities, the 4th of July is on a Sunday this year. So they get whatever the next closest day is. So they get Monday off. So that would be the week of the 8th. I would actually think the 1st is better date than the 8th, given that a lot of people have that, they take the week, whatever the 4th of July is on, off. So that's just my only feedback there, but I'm willing to support whatever the board wants to do.
This is Chairman Clark. I actually have a question for staff member Kyle Kobe. You alluded to the City Commission having new meeting guidelines moving forward, and I'm curious because I travel around the 4th as well. But if I can meet remotely, there is zero impact on me there.
Kyle Kobe with planning. Yeah, the guidelines that I was referencing were pertain to how the Zoom meetings work. So they are not designed to, it's not a transition back into in-person meetings. So they would still be facilitated via Zoom. Obviously, at this point, July being so far away, it's hard to say for certain if we'll still be using the Zoom format for meetings at that time. But the changes that I was referencing earlier pertain to how people register for the meetings, and then how we will, manage the public comment portion of it. So we'll still be using Zoom for the time being.
Okay, thank you.
This is Chairmember Falvey. I also work government, and so I agree with Eric's comments about will you get the Monday off the 5th. So I would be more in favor of the 1st, but would also do the 8th.
This is Board Member Harrod. I think having heard from Commissioner Falvey and Commissioner Wissner that then just leave it at July 1st. I think it's 6 of one and a half dozen of the other, really, is the way it's July 4th falls on a Sunday this year. So you can just leave it, and that way staff doesn't have to fool around trying to make sure that the room is available for a meeting on July 8th.
Board Member Gardner, motion to approve the published plan for next year.
Eric Weisner, second.
Chairman Clark, we have a motion and a second. Staff, would you please take roll call?
Yeah. Staff Liaison Catherine Week. Clark? Clark?
Aye.
Falvey?
Aye.
Gardner?
Aye.
Harrod?
Aye.
Shalinski?
Aye.
Weisner?
Aye.
Motion carries 6-0.
All right. Any other communication or conversation to discuss this evening?
We don't have any miscellaneous items. Just to let you know, I do believe we have at least one sign variance on for next month meeting.
Board Member Gardner, I wanted to thank our chair for his work.
Board Member Weisner, second.
It's appreciated.
Board Member Shalinski, I absolutely agree.
Staff doesn't usually get to vote, but I'll vote for that.
Hey, thanks. It's been an exciting journey from the creepy guy in the back of the room all the way up here to the chair.
I just missed your son.
Where's your son? Yeah,
He's still right behind me here. So
It's kind of come full circle from him having to come to the meetings. Now the meetings are at home.
right. Well,
probably don't even recognize him anymore. He's probably I feel like I've seen him grow up.
Right. So he'll keep coming, but I'm looking forward to Board Member Harrod with a little bit more legal expertise running these things. So I feel like it's going to fill these shoes with no problem.
Want to give my appreciation to Chairman Clark's peaceful transition of power here at the BCA.
The humor helps. Well, thanks everybody. At this point, I would entertain a motion to adjourn this evening.
Board Member Weisner, I move we adjourn.
Board Member Gardner, second.
This is Chairman Clark. We have a motion and a second. Staff, would you please take roll?
Catherine Week, Staff Liaison. Clark,
Aye.
Baldy,
Aye.
Gardner,
Aye.
Harrid,
Aye.
Shalinski,
Aye.
Weissner.
Aye.
Right, it's unanimous.
Good night, everybody.
Right.
We did it.